WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate series to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place. WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate series to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place, and this is another episode inside of Black History Month. This time we're going to take a look at the great county of McDowell County. McDowell County was one of the first places after the Civil War that many African Americans went to because it was a slave-free place. It had coal, which was booming, and many African Americans came here to work as miners. Now let's get into the father of Black History Month. We talked about him earlier, Carter G. Woodson. He started his career in the coal fields of the New River Gorge. While working in Kmore and the Nottingburg mines, he listened to the stories of fellow black miners and was inspired to document the contributions, struggles of African American history. We've already talked about him pretty big. So now let's go into some other things. The Kimball War Memorial Building was built in 1928. It was the first memorial built in the United States to honor African American World War I veterans. Today, it is the only such memorial remaining. The Kimball War Memorial was a focal point of community life for decades, serving as a cultural and social center. Over time, the building was abandoned and fell victim to a fire in 1991. The building was placed on the National Historic Registry in 1993, and soon after, funds were raised to restore the memorial. Today, it serves as a museum and is open for special events and tours. Now, digging deeper into McDowell County, we're going to talk about Keystone, West Virginia. It's one of the first African American established communities in southern West Virginia. The town elected West Virginia's first black mayor and established the first majority-minority newspaper, the McDowell Times. M.T. Whittico, editor and publisher, attracted readers of all backgrounds. He actively contributed politics to. Whittico belonged to Keystone City Council and the Republican Party. Tyler Hill was another prominent figure in Keystone. Though a lawyer by training, the Virginia native became part of Whittico's team. He owned part of the Times and helped promote readership. He was also industrious. Among other things, he became an assessor for Keystone and a politician. McDowell County is a very strong county with strong African American background. The political history there, the House of Delegate was always included a black McDowell County representative since 1914. When McDowell's delegate E. Howard Harper suddenly died in 1928, his wife, Minnie Buckingham Harper, filled the role. In doing so, she became the nation's first female African-American legislator. Her appointment highlighted the growing role of women in American politics and the importance of African-American political coalition in southern West Virginia. Now, the first chapter of the NAACP for West Virginia was founded in 1921 in the town of Gary in McDowell County. There are 18 NAACP chapters in West Virginia to date. And in all this stuff, it seems like a lot of stuff happened around McDowell County with the railroad and stuff coming through that area. And so much going on there. If you get a brief chance to travel through this county, you will notice that there are a lot of things that resonate with Black history. And I was proud to bring you guys this quick Black history bit about West Virginia doing the research and finding out so much of this stuff, this information was cited from visitwestvirginia.com. And I encourage anyone, if you want to know more about history, especially history in West Virginia, definitely do some research on it, because it is very interesting to see how much West Virginia has done for the African American community. And, you know, in turn, my issue that always comes up with me is that when we cover this type of history, you know, people always want to treat West Virginia as a hillbilly place or a place of misfortune, but it's actually a place of a lot of education and a lot of wealth in how we chronicleize history, how we made history. So if you get a chance, check out some more stuff. And this is JR from West Virginia Uncommonplace, and I will be back with some more interesting West Virginia Black History Month facts. And on that note, I am done.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode. Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.